afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host and Imperial Name, the one, the only master of propaganda, the only sanctioned source of companies to casts. Off here to a 1 vs 1 on Ladoga Karelia. Just briefly forgot it, but I remember it. In the west it is Jove fighting for the Oberkommando Germany, Deutschland. Forming up here the elite 12th SS Panzerdivision Hitler Jugend versus in the east it is 3imweckla fighting for king and country, the Commonwealth. Taking on the role here of the 11th Armored Division, we got spare cups, fortifications, and grand offensive here for Jove Triple Infantry versus 3imweckla's Royal Artillery, special weapons, and advanced emplacements with grenade and infinite blitzens there. So it indicates that 3imweckla might be playing a slightly more aggressive and explosive game. We got double fortress here for Jove, standard stuff here, and of course, well, actually less than standard here for 3imweckla. Vickers is usually not start of your average British opening. They'll usually involve sections and universal carriers, but Vickers this early on certainly stands out quite a bit actually. So that's actually worth noting there in 3imweckla's sort of opening. Sturmpanies moving up here, focusing southward, so sort of broader aggressive approach here from Jove. In this sort of engagement between Sturmpanies section, the Sturmpanies get sufficiently close enough to the section fast enough, they will win, usually through sheer firepower. On the other hand, again, just long range, mid range, they lose. So they have to get closer. That's usually the key to the Sturmpanies, in which case it's going to come down to using the terrain sort of safely advanced within a safe distance, or at least the winning distance to the section without taking too many shots, without getting shot at in the first place. Vickers sitting up here, pretty much anticipating hanging on assault. Joe hitting northwards there. Cut flank, and of course, this early on you usually don't expect a Vickers. There's also an element of surprise from 3imweckla, probably sort of realised in the usual British meta, he figured a fast Vickers here could give him a tactical advantage, which, you know, Joe may not come to appreciate. Sandbags by the southern fuel point. Sturmpanies standing about. Vickers repositioning. Obviously, in this case, 3imweckla is always being a bit cautious. They're worrying he might get flanked for the north as well. Good play there. Good reflexes. Third section of the way. Of course, you also saw the victory point there being C, so it's aware. Hang on. My north flank is possibly exposed. They can hear repositions. Good work. Jove, they're heading northwards. It's a bit interesting to see what's going on. He's probably sort of trying to figure out where Weckla is. If he's not paying attention, he can sort of sneak up and sort of hit him with the Sturmpanies. That's probably what he's doing here, figuring his opponent setting up something far up north there. You know, he might just be able to catch something isolated there, and that's usually all you want to do with the Sturmpanies. You don't want to like hit like straight into the front line, where there's a lot of things ready to shoot you down. You want to hit isolating, and there you go. Section trying to pull into the Vickers, but it's taking a lot of damage here. Vickers setting up there. Good bait there by 3imweckla. The section did take a lot of damage. Forces looking for the section there in the south. Big push there by Joe with two full sections there up north. Sturmpanies routed here. Good work there by 3imweckla. Joe was close to pulling off, but again, 3imweckla's early Vickers machine gun there proved to be the decisive factor. So good work there by 3imweckla. Jove there with more full grenadiers. Others moving northwards there. Almost got the eastern victory point, and we got the truck on the way there, the Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper. One of the many trucks the Germans operated, though that one was specifically designed for the more muddy situations, environments of the Eastern Front. It was more purpose-made than the Opel Mauter, which is basically just a converted Opel Blitz truck with the tracks just basically nabbed from whatever they can get. Usually I think it was universal carriers, but also in other track vehicles. Back here we got platoon command post there, the sappers of the way there for 3imweckla and the British Army. Section moving ahead here, forces falling slightly back there. He's in the northern half here, Vickers setting up, around the northern victory point. Again, he's using the Vickers aggressively. Basically, he's playing the Vickers like the Wehrmacht has to play the MG42s, because that's how I have to play the Vickers. I mean, it's sort of the ironic thing again. Both British and Wehrmacht sort of pegged as defensive factions, but the way the machine guns are designed, you have to play them aggressively, otherwise they're garbage.
A capture point is being overrun.
So that's sort of the fun thing, and I think that's part of the reason why you just end up pushing the sections as fast as they did, and then have finally nerfing, and it's because, again, the Vickers design just doesn't work, and unlike with the Wehrmacht, you have mortar snaps and other stuff to make it a bit more coherent. The British does not have that as easily, so, you know, they can't end up doing this and pushing it too far, which of course is silly, but apparently they're not too keen on doing anything about the machine gun sort of properly. But again, you have to play them actively, you have to play them aggressively, and again, that's not what most players like to do. Up north-ish, Sturmpanies going for the northern victory point. Okay, he's trying to clear out the cover here. The terrain to not line to fire the Vickers, nice work. Sappers there routed, but good play with Joe Bob. Even as he's fighting at the front line, he's got troops moving about further deep behind the lines, looking to cut off 3imweckla's resource. Also forcing to divert forces from the front line to the rear lines. Good play there by Joe as well. Good play, good maneuvering. Keep troops healing and reinforcing. There's not really a lot of healing going on there at the moment. Of course, the ones with all the healing are at the front. And that guy's sort of wondering how the hell he gets back without getting shot by the Germans. There we go, retreating there. Folger's low enough on health that he feels safe enough to do that. Vickers down to 5 from the Folger inside the house. Jove there got fresh forces moving out. And we got a battle group headquarters here on the way for Jove's and a mechanized regiment. I would say that almost instantly just precludes then or cuts out special operations sort of in the running there. I mean, some players will go for battle group headquarters into special operations, but they tend to be exceedingly rare. So in this case, I mean, special operations very much by now sort of very much defined by mechanized regiment, Lux, Puma, Stole for Command Panther. Snap on the way for 3imweckla. That's not going to put pressure then Jove. Particularly since he hasn't gone for mechanized regiment, that's access to Lux. He does lack one of the faster counters, more effective counters versus a British sniper. So it'll be interesting to see here what Jove does versus 3imweckla. Certainly moving ahead here for King and Country, the Commonwealth. Worth noting, we've not seen any upgrades for the sections either. No grenades and no bolstering. Interesting. Very interesting play there by 3imweckla. He's using the Southern Field on their way from Jove and the 12th SS Panzerdivision Hitlerjugend. Troops sitting out there. Medics almost down there for Jove and Germany. Got mines down there from 3imweckla. Sniper section coming up. We got a bit of pyrotechnic supplies. And there you go. We got the light infantry count there for Jove. A light infantry Geschütz. 18. Folks with the sappers up close. Sten guns versus Conan TKs. We got the sections moving up there. But it's not a far there. And of course with this, that 3imweckla informs Jove that he's got a sniper in the time-honored manner of sniping something of his. Line for going there, almost down there for Jove. They'll try to give him some artillery. Seizing the north side as well, very good. Pressuring and all just trying to outmaneuver 3imweckla, trying to sort of stay away from sort of 3imweckla shifting point of gravity, since they can usually be very tricky to deal with there. You usually want to sort of like keep them a bit off their feet and sort of just hit them when they're sort of slightly caught off balance there. But we got the artillery out there, troops are healing and forcing. We'll have to see what further happens here with Jove. I mean, 3imweckla is definitely not playing a usual British game. He's also got a buffers up, potentially. So 3imweckla here, possibly lining up for some very, very, unpopular gameplay there. We'll have to see how he ends up going for it, but in what he does, I mean, already his strategy certainly is a bit unorthodox, and that's nice to see, actually. As long as it doesn't end up in a sim city, that's the sort of unorthodox we would rather more describe as heretical and worth of being, burned at the stake. Further up north, that point's being seized. Artillery raining down there. 25-pounder gun sounding off. 6-pounder gun out there for 3imweckla and the British Army. Note 6-pounder refers to the weight of the shell that's firing, or sort of an older sort of type of way of rating weapons. As one the British stuck to. Well, even by World War II, when most people were switching over to like just the caliber of the gun itself, the British still rated most of their guns by the weight of the shell they were firing. It's a little fun fact there. See some points in the south, very good. Fulton for the centre victory point. Back a healing reinforcement going on for Jove. We got mines here from 3imweckla as well, very good. Several mines. Troops getting ready, nothing further going on there. For him, he's certainly strong to maintaining good map control, but George makes time to just lay down a ball for us. 3imweckla committing to a second Vickers. I mean, that is exceedingly rare. Double Vickers is very rare from a British player, but again, if he can handle the double Vickers, again, it can be quite powerful, but it's just, again, when you can just get a lot of sections, you just march them all over the place, most British players don't tend to bother with it. Got a truck out here for Joe. Looks like that's going to be Shroud Panzer quarters. Looks like they're going to set it up here. An aggressive bold move. Of course, it is going to be exposed. It could also be difficult to support and defend in depending on how 3imweckla decides to counter it. So it's a bit risky what Joe is doing here, but again, it does pay off. It's great, but it is exceedingly risky, and he's going to dangle out a really big, target in front of 3imweckla once 3imweckla realizes it's there. And again, it's going to be tricky for Joe to defend it due to the distance from his base and the overall sort of terrain around it. Still firing down here. I think he's just trying to deny the place there to Jove. We got a section wiped out. Small win there for Germany. Straight to the Vickers machine gun there. Faced with a wall of fire, are routed. And we got the other section on the way to replace one lost. 3imweckla will actually begin taking up and pushing for armor here versus Jove. Halster collapses under the 25-pounder gun's merciless pounding. Shroud punted quarters almost done here for Jove and the German army. Seizing the point here, section almost done. Vickers remains on the defensive. This one also remains on the defensive. Need to be careful not to get too defensive with them. And there you go, folks. We're getting sniped here. We got 5 kills there on 3imweckla's sniper. Back here, troops in reinforcing. A machine gun on the way for Jove to help deal with 3imweckla's infantry. Possibly also good at deflecting with machine guns and the anti-tank guns. Sandbags up there from 3imweckla. Folks are there waiting by the shroud punted quarter range to ambush anything, and there you go. There will be some shots fired here soon enough. Unless he's actually spotted it. Maybe the pyrotechnic supplies they gave it away, who knows. All the way though. Nice flank there by Jove, losing the far north point. 3imweckla is definitely spotted. He's going to move in and attempt to try and destroy it. He's also, I think, likely going to try and sort of close enough, then pop the coordinated fire ability and begin destroying it with that as well. He's always tagged up, so he has access to both 25-pounder guns. Well, in a few moments, he might, of course, want to wait until both guns are available to fire there on the Schwerp. No, he decides he doesn't have to. Yes, he does. Another way, though. This is a bit of a problem for Joe. He is launching a counterattack here, though. Vickers though setting up to cover the flank. Bit late there for 3imweckla. We're going to see the sniper going down. This at least Joe gets something out of it, but he's still likely to end up losing the Schwerp punted quarters. Got still firing down there from Joe and 3imweckla's forces. Schwerp punted quarters down to half health. Both guns are actually firing. Interesting. Wasn't aware that's a possibility, but here we are. Both guns are firing. That's definitely bad news there for Joe's Schwerp punted quarters. Punish him again for playing in such an extended position. Again, it seems like he might also tend to expect to launch these northern flanks, but the problem is, again, in this case, 3imweckla did have the flank cover of the machine gun again. Thumbs up to that. And just as Joe loses his Schwerp punted quarters, 3imweckla's getting a crumble out. So right now, Joe just had things really deteriorate for him and the 12th SS. Since he has no anti-tank weapons, he has no way of getting tanks. And there's a tank inbound against him. He's going for a kidnapper there, obviously, since he knows likely what's going to happen next if he doesn't get an anti-tank gun or 2 up to stop such a withering British armoured assault. But the question is, what does he do now? Spare Cups Command Panther? Does he go for it again to try and get out command or the Tiger tank? Though that's going to be pretty late. Is he, I don't know, going to go for the King Tiger? I mean, that's also an option here. Was there something else here that Joe might have been planning? Nabbing the Shumin, grabbing the northern point back here. And there we go, we got the Kron Mark 4 cruiser tank out there for 3imweckla. Section Vickers there, remaining on watch, grabbing the southern fuel point. Jones control most of the map, and 3imweckla still needs to do something about that. Note he's attacking northwards. He's, for the most part, he's, I think, launching a smaller sortie towards the south, but he's, I think, expecting that Joe's going to most of his forces centered around there. He's going to make a bigger breakthrough attempt to the north, so that will hopefully have more success there. I suppose he's still turning in the tank to the south to sort of assist with that. So he's not giving up in the south entirely, but it would seem like the north is his primary effort, though he's kind of slightly forgotten about it here. All the way south, force there from Jove, routed as he has no anti-tank weapons there. Which pretty much means his entire underbelly just got ripped open. And now he's dispatching forces here through the centre-south to the centre-south, I think, to back up the initial success there. Guessing that 3imweckla was not quite anticipating he would have so much success, and he finally encountered by getting after that. Pushing through the centre here, north side. Oh, he's so extending his anti-tank gun, though. I'm guessing he had it queued up, then he just sort of forgot he had that when he diverted his forces from the north, push towards the centre-south there. Still good response from there by 3imweckla. I still think he could try and make a bigger push into the north then nonetheless, but by securing the centre there, he can of course more easily support his southern positions, and once that's secured, he could also just push into the north as well, so it does give him a bit of flexibility there. And in this case it works out well, as Jove's positions are a bit of a messy situation again. Probably still reeling a bit there from the loss of the Scrap Hunter quarters, and he might be trying to figure out what he wants to go for. Does he go for the Command Panther? Does he go for the King Tiger? What does Jove do? I mean, that's really the big question right now. Nothing further happening here for 3imweckla. No sign of grenades or anything like that.
He's trying to take a point from us.
Chrome unit repairs, got double sappers getting to work on that. Machine carrying the north point here. And section there halted in its tracks there by Jove's infantry. Sniper number 2 over 3imweckla, certainly committed to the sniper here versus Jove. He is very much committed. It is worth noting, despite him going for the buffers, he's yet to do anything with that. He hasn't gone for advanced replacements. The question is, what could 3imweckla be planning? Is it Royal Artillery? Is it special weapons? I mean, at this point I think advanced replacement is very unlikely to happen. But holy smokes! I think that was a one-shot there. Accidentally bunched up, and then he got wiped with a single hit there from the Cromwell. A devastating blow there upon Jove's infantry. Sappers moving up close, got to threaten to wipe them out further. Not good there for Jove and the German army. Kept them finding out, got to raining down. The Ken of the Gators with precision hit to 3imweckla in the southeast. Steel Pine is routed by that Vickers. Good work. See here we got forces pushing northwards. More push for that fuel point there. Got the Sappers there pushing with the Kedron successfully, pushing for the south. No more Kedron for Jove, by the way, and no sign of what he might be planning here. But it is certainly starting to begin to look a bit like a Command Panther. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Pull to the right and the Sappers in the centre. Up north we got the sniper hard at work. 1 kill. Sections moving in. Heading the southern munition point back here, troops in enforcing. Is there nothing further in terms of just planning there for Jove? And there got Tilly called in here. No weapon max, I think, either. Indeed, not a single upgrade for the sections. All remain silent on that front. The logistical front. Well, that house is definitely dead. Whatever they've done to offend the British Empire has certainly been avenged by now. Sniper there with 2 kills, trot on the way there for Jove. Another Scrap Hunter quarters possible, the mechanised. Well, it's mechanised, it certainly increased the chances of a King Tiger play. Another Scrap Hunter quarters would be a bit weird, but might indicate he's then going for the Command Tiger after all. Which would be, well, rather interesting. Though I would say a bit tricky. Then immediately going for the King Tiger as well would also be a bit tricky. And most of Jove's options are a bit tricky, having lost his Scrap Hunter quarters like he did. Though again, he's been able to control the resources quite well here versus 3imweckla to disrupt his. So I mean, it's not all bad here, but there's certainly potential there for 3imweckla makes off some good moves. They did. Jove could find himself in a bit of a bad spot. Machine moving about on its own. Sniper joining in the fun there. We got 3 kills, forces moving from the other side. Big push there from Jove and the 12th SS Panzer Division. That's the 11th Armoured are forced to buggle a bit here. We do get the mechanised, so King Tiger looking very possible here for Jove. The Königstiger. Not something you see a lot of as of late. But I imagine there might be a slight surge once the King Tiger gets buffed a bit. But there you go, we got the Valentine tank backing up the Cromwell here. Not entirely sure that's the best move. I mean, I think another Cromwell would just be better there for 3imweckla, to be honest. I mean, he might have some plans with it, maybe using the smoke screens or something else, but even then, I don't know, I just feel like another Cromwell would make more sense, even a Centaur, but oh, well, here we are. Now it's actually 3imweckla control the map here. Joe on the defensive here as he's finding his position there being overwhelmed by British armour. Whoa, retreat here. That feels like a misclick there, perhaps, when that happens. Like, you know, you press the wrong button and then, oh no, your unit retreats. Or sometimes, like, the selection is a bit clumsy and you like, you know, to select one unit, give it the retreat order for some reason, it's still selected on another unit, or had selected that as well, and then you accidentally retreat that as well. I mean, there's a few possibilities here for 3imweckla to what could happen there, but either way, his fuel point there got lost. Rather unfortunate. Rather unfortunate. Mine's being laid down there by Jove. He's got a lot of manpower, which certainly I think heightens the credibility of the King Tiger plan here for Jove. Of course, he's going to have to survive here against 3imweckla's armoured phalanx here, as he unleashes wave of fire there against him. But there you go, but Kevin going to put hit on the Valentine tank, or Command Valentine tank. And there you go. 20 minutes of the game, we actually get 3imweckla bolstering his sections. Definitely one of the later bolts I've seen. And we got Jove who drops in his fortifications. Fechtaplatz. So I'm interested to see what he does with that. I mean, I doubt we'll see flag emplacements, but maybe howitzers, packed fortifications happening if he's like in a real big pinch, or S-mines for the folks would be great. And of course, there's always Syrian artillery. We got 3imweckla there unleashing a barrage there against Jove's positions, or suspected position. Oh, he's using his blocking fire. In this case, he's using it to deny the area there to Joe. He's, you know, threatened to have his stuff killed with Trust Marine. He does push through there, but again, it is risky. It is risky. The concentration barrage there, of course, being very, very nasty. And of course, he's just looking to show himself as much fuel, and of course, very importantly, deny Joe as much fuel. I mean, he might have an inkling here that Joe could be planning for a Tiger. Of course, there's also Command Panther's an option there, so either way, he knows he has to deny the fuel because likely Jove's going to get something very big and very unpleasant. And it's not a Bradford flavoured suppository. Panther in the Cromwell, we got Fulton backed up, but the Vickers going in, pushing back their Jove's forces. Joe very close to that King Tiger, that Königstiger. Second there, rounded by Kenrich Sturmpionier. Ground the southern munitions. Need to launch, I think, some more aggressive assaults through a deeper flank there, but since that's not seem to be 3imweckla's MO there, or modus operandi. We got the balance tank pushing south, but without infantry escort, it does risk, you know, being punched hard if he's not careful. Joe going for more Fultz grenadiers. Since, well, it's that or Sturmpioniers, and they yet to buff those either. I mean, again, it's a September patch, so we're in August. You do the math. Fixing up the Cromwell tank there, 19 kills, so it's definitely been doing quite well there for Joe. We got 7 kills on the sniper. And there we go, Königstiger, the Tiger 2. Or the Tiger B as is also known. Actually had a lot of names in that sense. I'll be rolling ahead here. Equipped with an 88mm high velocity gun. The turret was known as the, I believe the production series turret. No, by the way, both turrets were made by Krupp. There's some talk about Henschel and what was it, Rheinmetall Bursig? No, turret was actually, no, the turret was actually old Krupp. No, it was Porsche and Henschel. But again, the turret was all Krupp. Henschel stood for the body, and well, Porsche never really had a thing to do in it because Porsche's design at this point pretty much is dismissed as being impractical and unrealistic for the German industry to actually, like, you know, fulfill. It was actually the gun that was actually used. That's between Krupp and then Rheinmetall Bursig. In fact, there were some big issues with it that the armaments minister at that point, Dr. Todt, yes, there was a man called Dr. Todt, who also managed his own organisation, the Todt Organisation, which was sort of stood for building stuff in the German Reich, had to step in and tell them to knock it the bloody hell off. It's a little fun fact there. Fortunately, being assaulted by the 2 tanks, almost getting wiped out. Then another staggering blow there to Jove's infantry as they are faced with the British Armada here from 3imweckla. King Tiger rolling southwards there, 1 kill to its name. Heading southwards there, tanks trying to reposition. King Tiger moving in, shoots and misses. Bit of good news there for 3imweckla. Slight disappointment there to Jove. Moving ahead here. Tank from the 502nd Schwerer Panzerabteilung. Attached to the 12th SS during this assault.
Now capture point. They're trying to take it.
Basil making a weird squeezy noise while he's asleep apparently. There you go. Direct hit. Takes out a mine, but sadly no British tanks or British infantrymen. More folks are there for Jove and the German army. We got Syrian artillery here ready to unleash all manners of hell here upon 3imweckla's forces, if he can sort of set up correctly. Or find the right timing for it. Fixing up the Valentine tank here. I imagine 3imweckla is in response to the arrival of the King Tiger to go for a Firefly, because, well, other things might struggle a bit against the might of that piece of German engineering. Shoots and misses. Caught up in the terrain there. Heading southwards there, we got finished 64 to 256. King Tiger between the section, there you go. Good hit there.
Capture point is being overrun.
3 kills the Königstiger. 27 kills in the Cromwell. That thing's just absolutely murdering Jove's men. Valentine tank, meanwhile, is not quite posting the same degree of dedication to the British Empire. Back in up, we got the Fort Assembly up with the medics, frees up Jove's there from having to manage a lot, like him to constantly pay attention to like medical supplies, staff there, meaning he can just manage less, and that's really sort of one of the primary reasons to get at this point. It's just you have to manage less in your head. That's actually not be a big deal, you know, just having to like manage less in your head, and you can sort of focus on more important things. It's also one of the reasons I like Company 2 more than Company 1. Company 1 had a lot of these sort of dinky things where you just had to like insert extra actions just to get something done, and Company 2 actually cut out a lot of those dinky extra actions, you know, allowing you to free up, you know, mental space to focus on more, you know, important matters. So, you know, a little fun side fact there. But we got the Pak 43 up there for Jove, the Panzerabwehrkanone 43, using the same gun as the King Tiger. Fun fact. Note this is the early model, where they didn't have the swivel mount supposed to have ready, so they used the mount for the LFH-18 howitzer to mount the Pak 43 on. Fun fact. There was also additionally a variation on the Pak 43 was known as the Feldkanone 43, which basically was this one, but it could sort of aim its gun upwards so it could sort of fire as artillery. Little fun fact. Picks up the King Tiger. Oh, Valentine tank there. A fateful encounter with the Pak 43 and the King Tiger, and, well, that did not end up very well for the crew, as they found the munitions cooking off at a very rapid pace within the tank, which is usually not where you want it to go off. Lots of put himself is there. There's the sappers. There are plenty. Got the Cromwell's living Norfolks. Mines being laid down there by Jove. No. Oh, it is S-mines. Oh, nice. The only other player really knows that uses S-mines with the Oberkommanders is Angreifen. Most other players just ignore them. Like, S-mines are generally just good. I think a lot of people are sleeping on S-mines. Not literally, of course. I mean, if they were literally sleeping on S-mines, they'd be permanently sleeping. If you get my drift. Section there, round by the Sturmpanzer's machine gun there. Far on the way there for 3imweckla and the 11th Armored Division as Jove and the German army relentlessly pushes forwards. We've got another line on the way there for Jove. More artillery to shatter the British positions. We've got 16 kills there. Close to eventually 2 and, well, also close to 28 kills on Mangy and the Cromwell. King Tiger falling back for some few repairs. 6 kills there. Firefly slowly approaching the front line there. Trudging for the snow. We got anvil tactics up. Opening up for Churchill tanks as well. Can already imagine the trouble the British are having getting to the front line. Good Lord, Terence is supposed to take a left at Adolf Hitlerstrasse, but they're all Adolf Hitlerstrasse. What idiot calls every road Adolf Hitlerstrasse? Shut up, Terence. Just get us there.
Firefly is ready to give someone a bloody nose.
There you go. Firefly out.
Mother will be pleased. Ready for orders.
Fixing up the King Tiger. Closing in the 2 on that line for the gun. Note the active usage of barrages, which again is what some players tend to not use when you come to the line for guns. They just let them auto-fire and just forget about them, which is generally the less efficient way of using them. Pak 3 there, ready to blow up some Inselaffen. We got trenches being dug in here by 3imweckla in the south.
We're losing a capture point.
Grab the southern munitions. There we go, 20. Well, veteran 2, sadly not 28 kills. We've got more trenches here from Joe's getting ready to receive the British assault from some nice cozy trenches. So both sides are actually digging trenches at this stage. Interesting. Crumbling ahead. There we got the Firefly backing up. We got the tank commander up. No sign of 60-pound tulip rockets. Which in the actual war were not exclusive to Fireflies. They just added whatever Sherman tank they could sort of stuff it on. Fun fact. Pack 43, they're ready to, well, shoot up anything, but it is clearly expecting the assault to come in the north and not in the south. Obviously pointing the Pack 43 down there, but I imagine that could swiftly change. There we go. Section pushing through there, but Kedden was spotted and routed. King Tiger moving in. Sniper section in the centre. We got Sniper there. We also got S-Mans there from Jove, though probably could have tried to place them more on this side. Northern East McSees there. More S-Mans there from Joe. It's like he's just discovered S-Mans exist, and he's just like, wow, what are these things? They're amazing. Let's get as many as we can. King Tiger moving hit the direct hit from the Firefly, piece in the front line of the King Tiger. Sabers out in the open, easy targets, and there you go. Veterans one getting the King Tiger, 10 kills, 11 kills. Counties piling up amongst the British infantry, shot bounced off the King Tiger's mighty arm, and there you go. More British infantrymen sent off to the great British Empire in the sky. Which also doubles as hell for French men. Back here, troops in reinforcing. Pulled on the fly here from the Cromwell. And we got a Sexton self-propelled artillery PC out for 3imweckla to try and blast through Joe's force. I imagine it's also going to be used there to try and take out the Pack 43, which is quickly proven to be a very large nuisance there for 3imweckla with its mighty gun and mighty aim. And there you go. Cromwell expires in the face of the King Tiger with 8 hit from the gun. Troops are holding out in the trench, but sadly with an incendiary grenade turning into a barbecue pit, he's going to have to, you know, abandon it. He probably should have been switching from the south to the north. He's trying to swing around Joe fast here. At least he's making the right decision, I think, trying to take this out with artillery, but the question if it's going to last that long. Far from them taking up the King Tiger. Anti-tank opening up there is slightly doing some damage, but not enough. Sexton was actually pretty close getting hit by the King Tiger, and there you go. Joe blitzing here with the Königstiger. Slim of health there. Artillery fire raining down. Shot there, almost hit something. And there you go, main gun goes out on the King Tiger. Oh dear, if that actually landed close, he could have lost the King Tiger to his artillery. Is he shooting at the Pack 43? Is he trying to catch the King Tiger there? I think he was trying to catch the King Tiger with a knock it out. I mean, technically the King Tiger was actually armoured on top, so it could also resist most artillery shots, though even then there were some weaknesses. For example, during the fighting in Arnhem, one King Tiger was knocked out when a mortar round actually hit the back, then knocked out one of the cooling elements. Which is actually a bit of weakness on some of the Tiger tanks. You know, if they sort of took it down to the radiator or whatever there, they, you know, couldn't risk driving the tank without burning the engine off. That's actually a real issue. Trying away there for Joe. It's probably going to be another scrap. 100 course is willing to build it after all that time. At least he's got his priorities right, I guess. And there you go, Joe with more S-mines. Looking to just make things as miserable as possible there for 3imweckla. Machine there caught by a British water tank head on with Bren guns, just hosing them down. No mercy there from 3imweckla. Almost got the MU-34. Firefly there with infantry support pushing back these Falcons there. Probably the infantry support really doing it. Close getting wiped, another Falcons going to hurt. They've got a machine gun drop as well. They could cease and turn against 3imweckla. There you go. 2 wipes from Jove here. 3imweckla's mad. He's angry. He's had enough. We got perimeter watch here popped. I feel like the time for this is a bit weird. I'm guessing he might have figured it was another ability, like, you know, calling ability around that, and so ends up wasting all that precious munitions. Bit of a shame there for 3imweckla. Great news though for Joe, great news. I'm sure Joe was quite pleased with 3imweckla accidentally tossing out 225 munitions out the window. Ooh, S-mines there we go. Proving their worth as they blow up the Tommies. Fortunately, they're being routed. Saxon there hammering away with its 25-pounder gun. Getting killed in one of the pack crewmen. Fun fact about the Saxon and the British. Well, I think it was actually the Canadian who first did it, but the called on the British Army, where they just basically removed the gun and converted it to an armoured personnel carrier. That was known as a defrocked sexton. They also do it with priests. That's basically also how I got the kangaroo. You know, they did it with a lot of vehicles. You also have, for example, Stuart light tanks that sort of had the same thing. They're known as, well, I think also kangaroos. They're also called jalopies. So, little fun fact there. More sectors out there for 3imweckla. He's a bit on the defensive here. Again, his great perimeter watch plan backfired a bit. As it turned out, the Germans were not attacking. He was. Clearly someone got the wrong memo. A lot of tank traps here, and I think that's actually Jove just basically looking to lock off any sort of advance here with any tanks, trying to funnel them in towards the pack for the free. That's actually pretty clever. There's obviously going to need more here, but I'm guessing he's just thinking 3imweckla's not a deep flanker, so if he just sort of lays down an intermediate obstacle, you know, 3imweckla's, you know, dislike of flanking is going to do the rest of the work there, which is actually pretty clever there from Jove. Thumbs up. I mean, that's a dangerously good read on his opponent who just realizes, you know, hang on, my opponent's lazy, he's British. He doesn't want to do things efficiently, he just wants to, you know, do it easy. So, you know, good work there by Jove. Good read. Which is usually not what you want to be doing. You don't want your opponent to read you like, you know, not even an open book, just a pamphlet. You know, Brexit written across it. Brexit and why it's a great idea. My plan in 3 steps to somehow not muck up everything. Need to get the King Tiger out of there. Close to death there. Close to destruction, but that's meant to heroically salvage it here from 3imweckla's anti-tank weapons. And more important, the Firefly. Moving up the section there. We got 371. Sneaking through the south. Good work there by Jove. Taking advantage of 3imweckla's focus on the centre. Ooh, he's not paying attention. The Pack 45 is going to take out the Firefly. The focus of the Panzerfaust will. There we go. Firefly cooked up. Now it's truly a Firefly. Pack 45 there scoring a glorious kill there for the German army. Actually called in there. Guessing that's going to be up. That's the target. And we got seeing artillery return here from Joe, showing 3imweckla who's got the know on artillery. And he's called in right around the sexton actually. And also theoretically on the retreat path there, 3imweckla. Artillery firing down the Pack 3 position, even charging force panzer falling back here. Lots of artillery here as both are basically just trying to show who's got the best usage of artillery. Artillery firing is wing down north here. Baker's cleared out, and there goes Sexton taking direct hit here as it's getting exposed through the fog of war as it hits targets. More artillery running down there. Oh dear, he might need to lose the Sexton here to Jove seeing artillery. He's probably not thinking it can happen. Then again, it's not a consistent enough, I think, to do the job here. Oh! It actually took it out. It's abandoned and the cruiser just pops out. Bit exhausted after being, you know, bombarded. Panzer IV down. Good kill there by 3imweckla, but... well, that's a first. The Saxon taking out the Canada and actually abandoned. It'd be funny if Jove actually stole it. That would be funny. Back here, troops in reinforcing.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Direct hit here. Oh, the anti-tank would like to take out the Saxon there. By accident. Nope. Shoots. And the machine cleared out. Well, Joe destroyed the 6-pounder gun. Other than the Sexton. You got troops moving in there. Oh, will he actually recruit? Will he turn it against the British Empire? What will it be? Well, watch and find out. You don't have to find out next week. And there you go. He does recruit. He does recruit with false grenadiers. It's a German Sexton now. Good Lord. You don't see that very often. I think that's actually the first time I've seen it. So yeah. Troops there being routed around the Sexton. Heavy engine damage there. Pierce almost taking out Sexton. They're bunched up so cleanly. This King Tiger can just murder him. But he's clearly trained to the sappers. He wishes for some. There you go. Wipes up both sapper sections. The Sexton's still alive, artillery down, danger close around the Sexton. The crew's just sort of wondering when they get to move because they're a bit terrified with all those angry Englishmen about. Churchill taking away the 3imweckla. There you go, the Sexton. It's moving though. It probably shouldn't be considering there's a fire blazing out of its rear end. Oh, it's on fire. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. It's not on fire if you don't see it. That's a terrible idea. Well, shut up. It's mine idea. Churchill tank out there for 3imweckla. Truly, this is company heroes at some of its finest. Not really. More mines down there. Good job there with Jove. They've certainly, I think, proven quite helpful there. Not necessarily critical, but quite helpful.
We're losing a capture point.
There you go, King Tiger versus Churchill tank. I don't think that's going to be an engagement there that 3imweckla has a really good chance of winning here. We got 43 killed around the King Tiger. A real beast there. Sexton continues to just slowly waddle away there. Directly on the Churchill tank from the King Tiger. King Tiger tank from the anti-tank gun. Very close to 13 feet. Another hit there. Sexton's being murdered. More subs on the way there for 3imweckla. He's down 84 versus Jove's 296. 3imweckla continues to fight. But there you go. He seems to realise the war's over, at least for now. In part because, again, he handed a British artillery piece to his enemy. He's going to have to explain that one to Churchill. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell a friend, tell a family. But don't tell your enemies. And like you do, can donate or pledge on Patreon. Support the mighty Propagandacast. Allow me to do this day after day. So do consider. And this is Imperial Cheers. See you all tomorrow for a nice episode. Bye.